being star visitors are here really and sending their own families in human form to actually assist with that process. So there's many ETs on this planet. They are amongst us at the moment, and some of them have incarnated as souls into human form, as you, I think, understand really well, with a job to do, and the job is to raise the frequency of this planet, including the other wonderful beings like the whales and the dolphins, who are here too, doing the same thing. They're all helping to balance and create new healing and harmony on this planet.
In fact, it's said that the dolphins are the smartest beings on this planet.
They are amazing, yes.
That they're holding it together with their song, with the vibration, and we need to get our act together and grow up, as you say. I think they are having a bit more difficult time with this planet than they had perhaps initially perceived they would.
Well, look, it's quite possible. I mean, all I know is that my understanding with working with those that having experiences, they're being told that things are happening a lot faster than they expected, and that they're having to really work hard with those that have certain jobs to do to get their act together. Things are speeding up so fast, and the numbers of people that are waking up now and becoming, like you were talking about, this obsession to know what to do next. I've got a job to do. What is it? I want to know what that job is. And my answer to that is it's all about timing, and it's also about your soul knowing where it's going, that it's not going to let you miss the bus. You know, it's not brought you here to, at the last minute, you know, let you down. So it's about trust, and it's about knowing that it will unfold as it's meant to, and that really we've just got to trust that we're doing exactly what we need to do right now at this moment in time. Everything is going to open up for us to show us the way, and it's just being accepting of that.
Exactly. I say that to myself quite often. I'm exactly where I need to be, doing exactly what I need to do. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here doing what I'm doing.
Exactly.
And that, of course, puts a positive spin on everything that happens. So everything has ultimate purpose. So what about the loving Pleiadians?
Absolutely. There are many like the Pleiadians. There are many others too, the light beings that are interacting and helping this planet as well.
Syrian, could I put the label Syrian on?
Yeah, look, I'm hearing a lot of positive from many of them. The Arcturians are another, the Lyrians. There are a whole range of them with, very beneficial energies being sent to this planet. Look, when people say to me, well, what about, you know, I've heard this, whether it's the Zetas, whether it's reptilians or whatever, I'm saying, you know, we've got to first of all be careful not to judge a book by its cover, because I think what we've got to learn is to actually listen and feel the energies and the messages that are coming through. And sometimes we're being taught through our fears to transcend them and realise that we're actually all connected on on the consciousness level anyway, and that there's a reason and purpose for everything that happens. Even those things that scare us and frighten us are part of that process of waking up sometimes.
Oh, indeed.
So being very careful about judging a different species or labelling a species in a certain way just because some people have had perhaps scary experiences. We don't know enough about the reasons for those experiences necessarily to judge a species by them. I think we have to be really careful. Just as we were talking about the mixed press of some species, like, for example, the lizard reptilian beings. Some have had terrifying experiences with them. Others have had the most loving interactions with those beings. So are they good? Are they bad? Don't use those words.
And of course, it's us who are creating our own reality. If we have fear inside, then the fear will be reflected on the outside.
Exactly.
What about the year 2012, December 2012? Is there any predictions personally that you may have come across with your clients, or is there a feeling? What feeling do you have? Is everything going to happen so quickly that there are going to be these massive changes before December 2012, or is it just a date and it may take years longer than that? Or?
It's the big $1 million question, isn't it?
And it's lovely because I so like it, because it's a date in the future that's, you You go into any bookstore
Yeah.
and you'll see a book on 2012, and even normal people, normal people, are seeing 2012, and there's this big energy,
About
planetary
what
energy.
does this mean?
Yeah.
Well, the nearest I can get to it again is looking at patterns from those that have told me bits about this. The interesting thing about the more traditional religious interpretation of Armageddon, we're heading for Armageddon, which actually the word Armageddon means disclosure and revelation.
Beautiful.
So if we're talking about disclosure and revelation, I think the disclosure that we're not alone is part of that revelation. And I think we're going to find out that in very real terms. But in terms of what I think the whole 2012 is about, a new beginning, a change of consciousness, where I think that we're going to get the 100th monkey, 10% of the planet get it, and through that we are all going to be changed. And I feel it's about transformation of consciousness. And yes, I think we are going to have a lot of planetary upheaval, and what that's going to do is focus people. People are going to start to realise what's important, and through that there's going to be a transformation. Look at even the floods in Queensland and what that meant. Terribly traumatic, terribly upsetting to lose everything. But in the losing of all that old energy and old memories,
Come on, the old photos of Grandpa and Grandpa.
Yeah, really hard. But at the same time, what traps us into the same way of living is the old way of doing things. And sometimes by something like that happening, it's like you're starting again, and you're starting with a new beginning. And hard as that and traumatic, and there's no denying the pain that that causes, on another level it can free you up. And looking at it from the silver lining side of it, sometimes that can actually free you up to be new, to be different, to embrace a new beginning, because you're not being held back.
Indeed. And it says something that it actually had to be taken from them. I mean, with my process, I like to throw things away. I try to throw things away that don't have any meaning for me anymore, which is difficult for those around me, because, you know, there are family photos and things like, well, this has no relevance to me. This was taken 30 years ago, and I throw it out. So I try to keep that happening, and it's a rejuvenating experience. It really is.
Yeah, that letting go, that clearing out. Sometimes, you know, it's like moving from one place to another when you have to get rid of some stuff. There is a freedom that goes with that, and that's not denying the pain and the sadness and all the things that someone will, and the grief and all those things as well. But it can be, as I say, like a new beginning, because you're giving a clean slate in a way to change things.
And just a few years ago, maybe 5 or 10 years ago, I was probably thinking, when are these earth changes going to happen, or when are these things going to happen? But looking over the last few years, so much has happened.
Yeah.
You've had so many worldwide events that have been forcing us to wake up, like the Gulf oil spill, like Fukushima, and
that's exactly right.
It's all, you know, people. Those events are occurring so that we can go, what? This nuclear power isn't so hot,
exactly right.
and this oil isn't the best thing for us.
And sometimes your back has to be against the wall before you make changes. And again, Armageddon is about disclosure and revelation. We're seeing all the corruption. It's all been coming out there now. Everything is being disclosed because they can't hide it anymore. With everything from financial institutions right across the board, we're seeing the corruption, we're seeing how these things on the planet have been holding us back, and what's been holding us back. So in fact, it's a very, very special and unique time, which we should actually celebrate.
No, I want to be out of here. I'm sorry, Mary, I'm just joking again.
Well,
no,
let me put it like this. When the one thing that's going to really piss me off as a soul, because I have said, look guys, I don't mind coming down here and working hard and doing my bit in service to humanity, that's fine. You know, but the most important thing is I want to be around for the changes, because I want to see that at least some of what I've been doing is, at least I want to see some result, please. Because when people say, well, I think it's going to be, you know, everything's going to go and we're all going to die or whatever, I say, look, we have some amazing souls being born on this planet right now, and have been for the last 30, 40, 50 years, whatever. Do you think all these wonderful souls that are being born, the new children on the block, the new human, have been born for a waste of time? I said, they're not bringing all their wonderful gifts because everything's suddenly going to blow up and it's all going to be destroyed. You've got to be joking. They wouldn't waste their time. And I said, and I certainly